Hi, this is Dr. Renee of Pleasant Leadership Consulting, where we inspire your leadership freedom. So this is week 2 of our leader accountability that's available only on Leadership University here on YouTube. So take a moment, subscribe to our channel, and you will be notified every week that we upload a video. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? All right, so I would encourage you to follow us on social media, whatever platform you desire. If you prefer Facebook, follow us at Pleasant Leadership Consulting. If you like Instagram, we're at Pleasant_Leadership. And if you prefer Twitter, you can find us at Pleasant Leader 1. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So our objectives for this 4-week series, it's very simple. It's one objective per week. And so last week we talked about some astonishing accountability statistics. I got a little frank with you. Leadership is not for the weak, and we shared some statistics about that. This week we're going to talk about what is accountability. We're going to talk about the definition of it, what it looks like in your workplace, if you have accountability and if you don't have accountability. Next week we're going to talk about where does accountability begin, and if you followed me for a minute, you already know the answer to this, but we're going to talk about it anyway, and we're going to delve a little deeper. And our last week, which is what everybody is looking for, and you probably already know it is, who and how do you accept responsibility for actions, and how do you get your followers to do that? So you definitely want to follow this series. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you are in the know when we drop our video. Okay, let's go ahead and begin. What is accountability? Well, according to Merriam Dictionary, accountability is the willingness to accept responsibility or to account for one's actions. All right, if you are a leader, we know that we are called, it's truly a calling to inspire and to influence others. However, we are up against free will, the willingness. And that is hard, the willingness to get others to accept responsibility or to take account for their actions. And that's what is the challenge. Now, leadership is not for the weak of heart by any means. And that's what's so different from being a manager from a leader. It is truly a calling. So having our followers take accountability is truly one of the least desirable duties that we have as a leader. So it is through our inspiration, through our influence, we are getting them through our example, basically, and through a climate and a culture. We are encouraging them to have a willingness to accept responsibility or to take action, account for their action. It is not an easy process, leaders, by any means. Okay, so and accountability includes several things. It includes acceptance. It includes obligation. It includes ownership. It includes answerability, choice, and commitment. So what do I mean by this? So in order for us to have accountability of our action for ourselves as well as for our organization, we have to accept the action or lack of action that we did. We have to take a sense of ownership, and we have to have an obligation to that. So we have to know that what our duties are, or by lack of taking that action, what our duties were supposed to have been. And we have to answer to that. And it is a choice, or the lack of the action, or the lack of the responsibility, or the lack of knowledge. It was a choice. So we chose not to do it, or we chose to do it, and then there is a commitment to that. So in all of those things, there is it's a lot to unpack. But I want you to understand something, leaders, that when our followers, when there is an incident or an occurrence, sometimes that choice is not overt. It is sometimes based upon lack of, and that is on us. Let me give you an example. Let's say a project happens and there is something that falls through the cracks. And so there is a negative consequence to that. And so we want to hold our follower accountable. before we jump to conclusions, we need to stop and ask ourselves, did we set our follower up for success? Did we give them all of the skills necessary? Did we give them all the necessary knowledge? So they may have made a choice in the moment to move forward, even though they knew they didn't have the skills and the knowledge. Yes, that was a choice that they made, but was it also a choice that we made when we assigned the project to them, knowing we did not have the right person in the job and we expected them to rise to the occasion? So in the case like that, it would be a mutual accountability issue. So sometimes when we have a circumstance in which accountability comes up, it sometimes is a reflection on us that we reveal that there are holes in our process that we need to share that accountability with our follower. Yes, they need to answer for the fact that they made a choice to move forward when they were not equipped, and they need to own that. But also we need to accept the responsibility that there is a flaw in our system. So together we commit to solving that problem. All right, let's go to the next screen. Signs that your workplace lacks accountability. So if you're questioning it and you want to know what the sign is, like here's your sign, here we go. Let's look at that. Look at the screen. If your organization, if your followers are walking around with low morale, it could be because you have a lack of accountability in your organization. Could be, not always. There are unclear priorities. Hands down, you're going to have accountability issues if you have unclear priorities. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, I promise you. If you have unclear priorities, there will be accountability problems. If there is accountability problems, you will have decreased follower engagement. No one's going to want to get involved. Unmet goals. Okay, if they don't know better, they don't know what to do, you're not going to be able to meet your goals. Okay, there has to be clear communication. Low trust levels. So this goes back to what we said in week 1, if their followers are watching you and they're listening to what you say, but they're watching and it doesn't match what you're walking, they don't have trust in you. Okay, so they're not going. If you cannot hold yourself accountable, then the message is, if you're not holding yourself accountable and nobody else in the organization is holding you as a leader accountable, then I, as a follower, I don't have to hold myself accountable, and nobody in the organization is going to hold me accountable. I can do and say whatever I want. The two do not have to be congruent. That's not what you want to do. That's not good leadership. Another sign that your workplace lacks accountability is a high turnover rate. Leaders, we don't have time for this. I've said this over and over again. You don't have time to keep replacing your talent. Okay? We don't have time for that. Keep the talent you have in place. Find the right talent the first time. Keep them in place. Keep the morale high. Keep the trust high. Keep them engaged. Don't be turning and burning. This is not, no. All right, so now we know what it looks like if you lack accountability in your workplace. Let's take a look at what it looks like if you do have accountability in your workplace. Oh, so much better. All right, so benefits of having accountability in your workplace. Whoops. All right, it improves performance. Winner, winner, we want that. Yes, we want high productivity, whether that's engaging customer service or whether it's more widgets produced, right? We would love to have this. We want to have measures of progress, right? Yes, let's have this. We want our followers to feel confident when we have accountability because we've given them feedback, we've given them clear communication, clear expectations. We've got a clear communication channel defined. They know what's expected. They know when it's due. They have a system in place. They are feeling confident. That's going to make them want to perform. Yes, we want this. We have encourage ownership within our followers. They feel like they're part of something. They feel like they're part of a team. There's unification. They're confident. They're going to go out and sell more widgets and make our customers happy. Yes, we would love this, right? And lastly, it fosters connection with one another, which goes along with that feeling of ownership. This is what we want. Now, leaders, I have to tell you, changing your culture from an organization where there is a lack of accountability to one where there is a culture of accountability, it is a long process, but it's worth it. I promise you. I so promise you. So don't think that you're going to be able to walk in one day and poof, I have a culture of accountability. It's not like you can walk into a room, turn on a light switch, and boom, there it is. It's going to take time, but I promise you, if you, like anything else, if you pour into it a little bit and a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, it is going to flourish and it's going to be amazing. Just keep at it. It is so worth it. And then you don't have to worry about the turnover in your staff. It's going to be one of the best places to work and no one's going to want to leave. It's going to be amazing. All right, so stay tuned for week 3 and week 4. If you missed week 1, go to our playlist and check it out. Or if you want to just look at week 1 again, you can do that. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Catch us next week for week 3 and the week after for week 4. You're going to want to be here. I'm telling you, there's good stuff ahead. All right, check us out on our webpage at pleasantleadership.com or give us a call or a text at 904-458-7317 if you want to learn more about what we do. Leaders, go forth and lead well. Your followers need you. Have a great week until I see you again.